Good day, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much to talk about with Ethereum in the market as a whole today. So in this video, I'm going to run through some technical analysis, talk about what I see happening both short-term and long-term, mention some insanely giant catalysts going on with Ethereum that you need to be aware of, and really just discuss whether this, this correction is definitively over, and just kind of share my perspectives on that matter. So, folks, if you like the sound of that, I want to ask you to do me a favor. Like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. Because, folks, look, we've been killing it in terms of calling major support and resistance breakouts and price targets. Look, I was saying once we broke out of this ascending triangle here that we're lucky to hit $2,000, and we hit exactly $2,000. Now, the market had a nasty correction, and I was letting my people know all throughout these ranges that this is where I was buying. I wasn't selling shit. The only thing I'm going to be doing to my long-term bags when things fall is add to them when things fall. That is it. We're in the beginning stages of a bull run, and I'll get into when I think this bull run is likely to end in my selling strategy. But I want to highlight what I believe are some key support and resistance levels for Ethereum moving forward. Let's begin with key support. Well, looking through different time frames here, I think the 10-hour and the 8-hour 200 EMA moving forward are probably going to be some of the most important support levels for Ethereum moving forward. Why? Well, way to pump, massive dump. Where did we find support? Where did we stop dumping? The 200 EMA on the 8-hour and the 10-hour. So here as well acted as support. So this 200 EMA on the 10 and the 8 is where we stopped dumping and where we started to go for that leg up. So this is going to be a very relevant support area moving forward for Ethereum. Now, in terms of key resistance levels that we need to get above in order to see bullish continuation, well, this red resistance line here is going to be very relevant moving forward. Why? Well, we can see we're currently getting rejected off it right now, but why this red resistance line? Well, if we zoom back out to previous price action here. Now, I don't like how when I move to the different time frames, my line kind of gets moved around a bit, but as we can see, based off this wick here, this candle body's here, this wick, this is a relevant support region that was acting as support all throughout this region. But since we've broken below, whenever we break below previous support, that support then acts as resistance. As we can see here, we're clearly getting rejected exactly off this range. And again, if you would have been following us, you could have anticipated a pause or a rejection off these regions as well. One of our Fibonacci extension levels lines up beautifully right with this red resistance line. So it's always great when you can get a confluence of reasons pointing at the same direction. So we have two resistance levels all throughout this range here. So very important resistance level, because if we can start to get above this key level here from about, I'd say 1860, and if we can hold above that, I think then we are much more likely to see bullish continuation. Until then, rejection and a leg down is possible. But holding above 1860 and this red resistance line here, I believe, is the key factor to look out for in order to understand whether we see bullish continuation or not in the short term. And just to kind of explain how I drew this fib extension, you take the bottom of the impulse, of the macro impulse, to the top, to the bottom of the retracement, and then you get some fib levels that are probably going to be relevant to price action moving forward. I mean, it literally is. We can see how the fib level lines up perfectly with a red resistance line. That's always beautiful to see. Now, if we can get above this level here, I think we're attacking all-time highs and entering price discovery. I think next major impulse probably takes us to about 2200, and then aside from that, I'd say around 2400. Nice psychological levels. Now, let's take a look at our indicators here to try and get a sense of what's going on. So everything does look bullish. We had a bullish crossover in the daily MACD. Again, folks, I've been trying to hammer home why that's important. Let's zoom out here and see when was the last time we had a bullish crossover on the daily MACD in the oversold region, which was here. Now, let's zoom out a bit and let's see when that is here. So, okay, so it was right here. It's right here, and look what happened afterwards. So this is obviously very important. So we want to see bullish continuation. Now, to understand whether we see bullish continuation, I think it is very important to look at the daily RSI, because although very simple, I think it's going to be very impactful looking at the RSI on the daily, because I think we can very clearly draw a resistance line here on the RSI. So if and when we get above this red resistance line on the RSI, I think that will be one of the cues that point to us possibly seeing bullish continuation in price action if we can get above this red resistance line. Now, again, we are up against resistance. Maybe go for a bit of a leg down. So perhaps RSI, you know, could play out something like this or make a, you know, higher low and then break out. So let's say we break out and we get above this level on RSI, get above like 62 and then go for that leg up. Oof, folks, that's when I think we see bullish continuation. But it's just one factor to look out for. So let's keep looking for different time frames here to see if anything interesting pops up. So daily looks bullish, 12-hour looks bullish, except concerningly stochastic is in the overbought region, and the histogram is starting to tick down. Let's take a look at the 6-hour. 6-hour, yeah, look at that, concerning, starting to see some weakness. Histogram ticking down, weighted MACD bearish crossover. Is it a bearish crossover? Yeah, it is, on the way down. Stochastic RSI overbought, bearish crossover on the way down. Regular RSI overbought. We're a bit overextended here, folks, and we might see, you know, further correcting, but let's keep looking, try to get a sense of what's going on. And then 2-hour, ooh, bearish crossover on the MACD. And, yeah, see, like, look at this. Look at the last time we had a bearish crossover on the MACD was here, and we had a continued leg down was here, which coincides with this peak in price action. And this is what led afterwards. So, again, folks, if we can't get above 1860 soon, maybe a bit of leg down is in store, which is a good thing. You know, you get to, you know, dollar cost average more if you were so inclined. Now, hourly showing some strength here. Histogram on the way up, stochastic RSI oversold on the way up. So hourly does not seem to want to break down. Ooh, and look at that. So kind of to summarize here, the larger time frames do look bullish. Once we get to kind of like the mid-hourly, lower hourlies, we're starting to see some weakness. But look at the 1 hour, half hour. It doesn't seem like we want to break down quite yet. So ultimately, we could see a bit of a correction here in the short term, but like half hour, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen right away. So again, moving forward, I think 1850 to 1860 is going to be that key level to look out for. Now, we do have a bunch of volume below us, which is why I think we're not breaking down immediately. Now, this red resistance zone here, I had drawn previously due to these the VPVR here showing a spike in volume. But since we've broken above it, this range will act as support. So whenever we break above previous resistance, it then turns into support. So we have lots of volume below us. So until we start to break below, I think 1800, I think we might just move sideways within this range. So to understand whether we see that further rejection, I think the key level to look out for support is 1800. If we start to break below 1800, then maybe retesting around the low 1700s makes some sense. And in order to see bullish continuation, I think 1860 is the key level to look out for in the short term. Again, it is always important to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin leads the market. Whatever it does will have an effect on the rest of the market. Now, I've been trying to ring the alarm bells in saying that I think the 50 simple moving average on the daily is the most important support level for Bitcoin moving forward. We can see last time we pumped and dumped, we found support exactly on the 50 simple moving average on the daily. That is where we stopped correcting and where we started pumping. So very relevant, very important support level for Bitcoin moving forward. I personally believe that this is the floor. Wherever the 50 simple moving average on the daily is, I think that's the floor. As soon as we start to see daily candles close below the 50 simple moving average on the daily, that's when I would be concerned of Bitcoin reaching some kind of local or cycle top. So that's what I'm looking out for in terms of Bitcoin. And oh, folks, oof. This is so beautiful. The Ethereum Bitcoin pairing. This is on a very important chart to look at to try and understand when Ethereum will pump, where possible hidden support in resistance could be. This is an extremely relevant chart to look at. Now, we have been reacting beautifully off my support and resistance levels. So, folks, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon, notified notifications. I'm honestly like pretty proud of myself how beautifully exactly we've been reacting off my the support and resistance lines I've drawn from some weeks ago. So folks, we found resistance and rejection exactly where anticipated. So we're in this very tight range here. We broke out, so now we're in a second tight range. So I believe since this region was previously resistance, now we broke above, it will now be support. So now I believe we're just likely to move range bound within this range here. Whatever way we break out of this range, we're likely to trend in that direction for quite some time. But it's also very likely to translate for the US dollar value of Ethereum. If we can start to break above this 3.5 region, start making higher highs above this region here, I think that is when we see bullish continuation for the US dollar value of Ethereum. We can see how historically this region here has been a very price reactive, very relevant region for the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing. So getting above and holding above this red resistance region here is the key thing that we need to look out for in order to understand when we see that bullish continuation with Ethereum. And again, if we go for that further leg down on the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, go back down and retest this as support, then I think that will be a factor that kind of points towards us perhaps breaking down from support, breaking down from 1800, and perhaps having a bit of a correction here in the short term. But again, until we break below, until we break out of this 1860 to 1800 range, I think we're just gonna move sideways. In order to understand the short-term movement, I think we really just need to see what way we break out of that range from 1860 to 1800. I think is the key range to look out for the US dollar value of Ethereum. Now, some very important off-chart factors that you need to be aware of. Lots of developments with Ethereum 2.0 going on. So Optimistic's rollups is set to launch in March. What is that? Why should you care? Well, Optimism is a layer 2 scaling solution that aims to improve some gas inefficiencies with Ethereum and make it increase transactions per second. So it will hopefully take it, if it's successful, from the current tens of transactions per second to thousands and improve gas fees. That is a big deal. The rollout is supposed to start this month in March. This is a very, very bullish catalyst. I've been ringing the alarm bells ever since the news came out on this days ago. So folks, like I've been saying, do yourself a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon, notified notifications, because we're bringing you the latest and greatest in crypto news and analysis. Now, we have optimistic rollups happening sometime in March, aims to improve gas inefficiencies, but we also have another major development in Ethereum 2.0, which is the Berlin hard fork happening around April 14th, April 15th. It's based off the block size, so it could change, the date could change, but basically on the 12th, on this block here is when the Berlin hard fork will be introduced here. Right here we can see the different timings and the different rollouts of the Berlin hard fork here. So what is this and why you should care? Well, the Berlin hard fork aims to make further improvements to some of Ethereum's gas fees, improve some safety features of Ethereum. So we have back-to-back major developments with Ethereum, both in March and next month in April. And then we also have EIP 1559 in July, which will make Ethereum deflationary. So whenever you send Ethereum, there's a transaction fee. So instead of that transaction fee going to miners, it will go to a smart contract that will burn that Ethereum. So because the current supply of Ethereum, there's no hard cap. The current supply is around 114, 115 million. But really, the amount of Ethereum can produce, there's no cap on it. But with EIP 1559 being introduced this July, not only will there be a hard cap on the supply of Ethereum, but it will become deflationary over time. That is a giant deal. Folks, we have major improvements to the Ethereum gas fees and to its supply this next few months here. This could be the most insanely bullish year, at least in terms of catalysts and major rollouts for Ethereum ever. So I'm very optimistic about the long-term outlook for Ethereum because, folks, look, in the short term, these markets are insanely volatile. We could have massive corrections, but the same fundamentals that existed that brought us to $2,000 Ethereum were the same fundamentals that existed when Ethereum was at $1,300. Nothing had changed. Nothing had changed. The market got spooked. A bunch of newbies came in and FOMO'd in when we had a correction. Only the most to-be-expected thing ever happened. So, folks, if you're a long-term holder, expect another half dozen, 30+% corrections with the rest of the market before this bull run is over. And again, I do think this bull run is likely to end late September with Bitcoin, and Ethereum and the altcoins are likely to reach their peak sometime a month after Bitcoin, in my opinion. Again, join our Discord, link for that down in the description. We talk to our Discord members regularly. We're also trying to have more regular coin calls with our members where we answer questions, summarize the market, and we also have very helpful resources posted in our different resources sections in our Discord. As well, if you like what we do, you want to support us, consider joining our Patreon. Link down in the description below. You get access to our VIP Discord group where we talk about low cap gems, very interesting setups. We talk to our members regularly, and we've also started to post incredibly helpful resources in terms of learning, better understanding the Ethereum ecosystem, Cardano and Polkadot. We're trying to learn Solidity right now. Me and Messin, we both run this channel. We've So we've decided to place our efforts currently on Solidity, although we would love to learn Cardano, Plutus, and Haskell sometime in the future. We're probably going to dabble in it some. But yeah, folks, look, we're trying to become experts in both technical analysis and in blockchain development and coding, because we really want to understand this space and what projects are truly well positioned to succeed in the future. So that's why we're starting to learn Solidity, and we have very helpful resources in the VIP group for, again, learning how Ethereum works, how the Cardano roadmap in Polkadot as well. We've mostly been posting about Ethereum for the time being, but again, that we'll post about Cardano in Polkadot more moving forward. But yeah, folks, that's enough of shilling of the VIP group. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.